and was ambulatory to a hospital an hour away. And they had our survivor on as much oxygen as they could, and he was in the NICU, and I still was not mentally stable, and all I can remember is hating the father because I didn't feel like he was grieving for our dead child the same way that I was, and that was bothering me. And I didn't feel like anybody in the world knew what I was feeling. And when they told me that my surviving twin just had to fight his way through RSV if he could, but that the chances weren't likely, I couldn't take anymore. And I attempted to take my own life. The hospital was right by the Mississippi. It was March, and I just walked out to the river. I don't remember much, and was going to go for a swim. I remember waking up in the hospital myself and being told that my surviving son had recovered and was doing well and could go home. And something at that moment told me that I had to get better. And if my infant son could survive all that he had, I had to. I had to for my other children, and I had to for Landon. And so I got help. I started medications for depression. I started reaching out and finding support groups and going to therapy and working through my grief. We started couples counseling, and I thought that the father was working through his grief as well. And I finally came to terms with the fact that he would never be able to grieve our son the same way as me, because nobody could, because nobody had the same bond that I had. And I thought things were well, but I don't think that the father was dealing with his grief. I don't think that he was working through it, because a few weeks later, the father shook our surviving twin, and didn't admit to it at first. We didn't know until we were in the ER a few times that Logan's brain was swelling and something had been done to him. About our third trip to the ER, one of the doctors finally did a CT, and Logan had a skull fracture. And I never make excuses for what the father did to our surviving twin, but I do still deal with a lot of guilt that I didn't address my grief over Landon as soon as I should have. And I didn't know how to work through it. And I feel like it affected everything else in life, and it affected our relationship and all of the stresses that fell back on him. Although I don't forgive him, I feel that he just had met his limit too. And it had ended up getting taken out on Landon's twin, on our survivor. But Logan has survived that as well, and he is almost 4 now. And he's a fighter. He's amazing. And all of this has led to my career now. I'm a mental health practitioner for severe and persistent mentally ill adults, and work with adults that hit that same depression through all kinds of events in life. When I discovered the Star Legacy Foundation, discovered 11 Angels, and hope we'll be getting trained for that soon, and hope to be helping the same type of mothers in the same hospital where I once was. Running has become a big part of my recovery. That started with the Let's Not Be Still 5K last year,